Hello and welcome. Happy Fierce Friday. My name is Stephanie Dawn. I am the chair of the Million Mom Movement Council, and I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm joined here by fellow council members, Nayeva Flory, and our operations manager, Rachel Quayle. And I'm very, very excited that you have joined with us today. This is an opportunity for us to come together as concerned citizens, as concerned mothers and fathers, those of us who are deeply alarmed and might I even say outraged by what's going on with food in our world today, food security, food sovereignty, and we've decided to take action as the Million Mom Movement. We've decided to speak truth to power, to raise our voices to the corporations that are selling us toxic food. So I'm so glad that you've joined us here today. We do this every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard. And if you are a Purium brand partner, I want to welcome you. If you are not in our community, I want to welcome you as well. This platform, this forum is for everybody. Everybody that cares about what's going on in the United States and beyond with our food. So I just want to share a little bit about how it was that Fierce Friday started. So my own son, Zephyr, he's 13, and for most of his young life, he ate Cheerios. And Cheerios, what we've learned, have the highest parts per billion of glyphosate on them. So consequently, when I learned this, I removed Cheerios from our pantry and his symptoms went away. A couple years later, he had what I would term a compromised gut. A couple years later, the symptoms came back. And I was deeply alarmed and concerned, and turned out that he was eating non-organic wheat bagels almost every day. That was his favorite food. And what I learned is that not only was glyphosate on the oat products that I'd been giving him in the form of Cheerios, but it was also in the Trader Joe's non-organic wheat bagels. So at that point, I removed all of the non-organic wheat out of our pantry, all of the non-organic corn out of our pantry, and sugar, anything that would exacerbate his gut. And at that point, I was a Purium brand partner, and we had Biomedic. I gave him the Biomedic for a week. It healed his gut. So I was very, very grateful for that product, and we continue to use it to this day. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. So many people, so many moms, so many dads, so many caregivers, so many babysitters have no idea the degrees to which toxic pesticides, chemicals, and herbicides are on our food. And so I decided to take action as the chair of the Million Mom Movement to create Fierce Fridays, an opportunity for us to come together and to take action. So what we've been doing over these past few months is we've been letter writing to General Mills, emailing them, hitting up their social media on Instagram and Facebook, and we've been collecting your emails to send you a templated letter that I wrote to General Mills that you can then copy and make your own. You can share my story or not. It's all in there. And we also have included the PDF that lists all the products that were tested in 2016 for glyphosate, which is a very alarming PDF. It was done by the Food Democracy Now! And the detoxproject.org. And so at this point, we're wanting to collect your emails. If you haven't been with us prior, if this is your first time joining us, Rachel, our operations manager, will send you an email with the templated letter for you to send to General Mills. And if you have been joining us for the last several weeks and months, then welcome back. And we'd love to know, have you emailed and or written a letter to General Mills, and have you heard back? So I'd love to hear from some of us who have heard back, what you've heard back, or if you have been posting on Instagram or Facebook, how's that been going for you? I know for me, it was a little bit salty, a little bit prickly with some of the public that was choosing to take me down with my posts when I was trying to be really respectful and loving, and, you know, asking General Mills to really look at their farming practices, to look at how it is that they can feel good about selling us toxic food. So I'd love to hear from some of us who have joined here together today, who have heard back from General Mills. And you can just feel free to come off mute. Because not only is this time about, getting you excited, we're also looking at creating accountability and really supporting one another to take action. So for those of you who have taken action, I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't taken action, that's fine. It took me like actually 3 weeks after starting Fierce Friday to actually send the letter. So, and now we have nothing but time being under quarantine. So is there anyone that would like to share that has sent the letter and or been hitting up the social media? Love to hear your voice. You can just come off mute by pressing the below left-hand button.
Hey, I can hop on for a moment. Hi, everyone. My name is Naiva Flory, and I am part of the Million Mom Movement Council as well. And I have sent the email, Stephanie. I have not heard back from them, so there's been no response. But I have been going to the General Mills pages on Facebook and Instagram and just posting on there, and trying to keep it within, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm trying to educate. So I'll just put little blurbs on there to try to create curiosity more than anything, and put like, wow, did you know that there's glyphosate in your cereal? Did you know there's this many parts per billion in this Cheerios box that you're trying to sell people? Or you're posting this cute picture of this kid eating Cheerios. I'll be like, oh my gosh, did you know there's so much poison in that cereal? And that alone gets some people commenting back or liking on that specific comment. And I'm sure that General Mills eventually probably deletes them once they see them and see the traction that's creating. But if we continually do this, we can educate people that are going to General Mills page, and we can, just drop that little, grain of sand into their mind of like what is in their cereal, what's happening in the food that they're giving their children. So I really encourage everybody to do that, and I'd love to hear what everybody else is doing.
Great, thank you, Naiva. I'm curious, Naiva, how long ago did you send that email? I'm kind of shocked, to be honest with you, that you haven't received a response. How long ago was that?
I sent it, I want to say it was about a month ago. It was before I went to the Big Island, and I can go search my emails. For all I know, it might be lost in, the abyss of lots of emails, but I haven't seen anything. I have looked a couple times to try to see if they responded, and I didn't see anything coming back from them.
Okay, cool. So I got super creative at the start of all this, and I sent them a snail mail, I sent them an email, and then I actually went onto their corporate site, and they have an opportunity to comment. And so I sent comments, and I did get a lot of response, and it was all stock responses. Like none of it acknowledged my personal story about my son and the fact that they have the highest parts per billion. Like they didn't go into any of that at all. So I didn't really feel seen as a human being. So I thought that was fascinating that their PR people were choosing to relate to me that way. And then I said, after I got several responses from several different people, I said, it's not enough that you're sending me this stock letter back. Like I'd like to speak with someone, because I'm not letting this go, you guys. Like I personally am not letting this go. Like I want to speak with someone at General Mills and really have them address and acknowledge the 2016 study, which is very serious, very serious. It's 4 years ago. I don't think a lot has changed in terms of farming practices. Certainly, I know there's a lot more. Lawsuits coming down the pike that are glyphosate related. So that's got to cause an alarm for these massive agribusinesses and corporations that are choosing to use this product on their crops. So does anyone else have anything that they'd like to share in terms of accountability and whether or not you've been communicating with General Mills? We'd love to hear from you. And I see a lot of you are giving your email in the chat. Thank you so much. Rachel, our operations manager, is going to be emailing you the templated letter that I originally wrote that you can make your own. So thank you for doing that. Anybody else?
Yes.
Hi.
James Lee Crone, listening to your excellent show.
Hi, James. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, thank you very much for doing this. And I'm very, very happy to see the energy level of being active about this very important topic. And I just wanted to add on that I was reading a MIT report that 18 months ago, that would be in the year of 2018, about a year and a half ago, 2,000 new chemicals were approved by the EPA as acceptable for public use. And MIT continued reporting that many of those chemicals will be used as herbicides and pesticide sprays and so forth. And and that the EPA approved of these chemicals without any studies whatsoever. They simply took the word of the chemical companies that their chemicals were acceptable and their studies were thorough. So, and there were no studies done whatsoever by the EPA. So that's basically, and you know, and furthermore, MIT reported, and to conclude my comment, MIT reported that they're expecting more pandemics. This is before the current pandemic we're currently in right now. This is a year and a half ago. They said that they're expecting more diseases, and some of the diseases we've never heard of or have no experience with should be arriving on the horizon because of all this lack of quality control coming from our government agencies. Right. And to expect diseases that are even more dangerous, and maybe even some herbicides that are more dangerous than glyphosate. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for being here, James. It's nice to have a man. We always love it when the men show up. So I'm really glad that you made it. And so here's the alarming piece I just want to highlight about James's testimony here. So this is what General Mills said to me, is that they have absolute faith in the EPA's standards. And so that is the most alarming piece here, is that chemicals and pesticides and herbicides are being used on our food, and the EPA is sanctioning it. The EPA, we pay for the EPA, you guys. We do. So we as consumers are the ones that have to be raising the alarm, sounding the alarm. And on that note, I really want to share my screen and share this video in the iLearn of our back office. So if you're a Purium brand partner, you may or may not know about this video. And so that's why I like to share it every time. So here we go.
The active ingredient in Roundup is called glyphosate. They've found glyphosate in wine, breast milk, urine, and drinking water, eggs, oatmeal, bread.
There is an increasing body of evidence. Levels of glyphosate exposure, given enough time, can result in potentially serious disease.
Glyphosate is the most popular weed killer in the world. It will heighten cancer risk. Last year, the World Health Organization's Cancer Research Agency classified glyphosate as a probable carcinogen.
Preclinical trials showed a 74% reduction of glyphosate in just 6 weeks, as well as reducing C-reactive protein by 75%, receiving the gold seal of approval by the Detox Project as the world's first glyphosate solution.
Okay, so we have a solution. If you're a brand partner with Purium Health Products, you know about that solution. It's called Biomedic. And you know, honestly, it's like it's our duty to get the word out about biomedic, to help people understand that our food has incredibly toxic levels of glyphosate on it, and it could be causing their health issues. So here's another interesting correlation between glyphosate and what we're dealing with right now with the coronavirus. So if you follow Dr. Zach Bush on Instagram, he has found a correlation between the epicenters of the coronavirus and glyphosate use. And so I want to urge you all to educate yourselves around, I know there's also the connection between the 5G network and the coronavirus. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I want us to really be looking at Dr. Zach Bush's research there, because I think that's fascinating, that where there's epicenters of a lot of glyphosate in our food and in farming, and then there's a correlation between those who have a compromised immune system. So what's going on in our world right now? You know, I just want to, obviously we have to speak to it. It's deeply concerning, and we all are, you know, not only are we sounding the alarm around glyphosate as the Million Mom movement, but we're sounding the alarm in general around our health and the need to really be prioritizing our health. So this is something that I personally care deeply about, and I have for quite a while now. I've been an organic activist for 30 years, an environmental social justice activist for many years. I've got my my organize, agitate, and educate t-shirt on today for you all. So Purium, for me, working Purium and being the chair of the Million Mom movement really gives me an opportunity to activate our activist fire here. And so I'm really glad you're all here. I'd love to hear some more of your voices. What's got you supercharged? Why did you come here today? What is you inspired by that you've heard thus far, or outraged by? I want to hear it all. It's all welcome. Hi, Liev. Did you have something to say? Liev? Nope. Okay, I'm going to mute you then. Okay. Anyone else? We'd love to hear from you. You're all of your voices are welcome here.
I got something to say.
Please.
Captain Pat here. I joined this call specifically because I work in a lot of schools, and I've been wanting to give a gift of some kind of nutrition. And now that I'm on this, now that I'm on board with Purium and my nonprofit, I want to learn about like be able to support these mothers and fathers out there that have children. And that's a big part of my mission. Is now that I have a lot of friends that have children too. So I'm like, okay, I just want to learn more about parenting life and what things that are affecting these families out there that are not a part of my immediate reality, but it's a community that I serve, so I want to just get closer to them.
I'm really glad you're here, and I'm really glad you raised your voice. So we can lead with the Million Mom movement when we're out in our communities, virtually, or when we get back in person, which I hope will be very soon, with our communities. Right now, we really need, I personally really cherish this community that we have here of enlightened souls, enlightened beings that are really guiding the way forward around what we can be doing for ourselves and for our community. And so, Pat, I really want to encourage you to, I know you're a man of influence where you live in the Mendocino, Northern California area, and I really want to support, is it Mendocino? Is that?
Monterey. Yeah. So you can be educating about glyphosate right now and helping people with their health right now, and be talking about the Million Mom movement. And for those of you that are new to the movement, we're looking for 1,000 moms, dads, concerned citizens in 100 communities to reach out to 10 families to help them turn their pantries clean, green, organic, and non-GMO. So that's the mission. It was created about 6 years ago by Amy Venner. And we here collectively are here to move that movement forward. And so this is what Fierce Fridays is all about, is moving the movement forward and finding more brand partners, more concerned citizens who are willing to take this mission
and really this directive to get the word out about glyphosate poisoning in our food. Because while I'm deeply grateful for Biomedic, I'm deeply angered by the fact that we even have to be dealing with poison on our food in the first place. To me, it's insane. So Purium for me is a pocket of sanity inside a very insane food world. And it's something that I feel very grateful for. And I want to do more. And I want us all to do more. I want us all to be taking action. So who else? I'm not really following the chat, but thank you for being here. And who else would like to share?
I'd like to share something. This is Marty in Boise.
Hi, welcome.
Well, what I wanted to do was just share how it started for me 6 years ago in joining the movement. I was a mom, and I am a mom of 4 children. They're grown up now, but you know, it was what's being done to my children without my permission. So, you know, kind of the Robin O'Brien, like I had a daughter, one of my twins that was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and thankfully everything that the Million Mom movement represents kind of helped guide us even to a better plateau, a higher plateau, and a higher wellness. And now I'm a Nona. I have 2 grandkids, and you know, the oldest one that can talk, he comes into my home every day that he can, you know, during regular normal times of life. And on Fridays specifically, we would have Caleb and Nona's adventures. And a lot of it has to do with, you know, the choices that they eat. And he loves counting his berries and his, you know, healthy food choices. And he'll say, Nona, creamy chocolate. And so I'm able to not only help my own children, but now continue the journey with my children. And I kind of wanted to piggyback on what Paul was saying. I think it was Paul, right? Did we just hear from Paul?
Pat, Captain Pat.
Pat. Okay, so I'm a former school teacher too, and my last year of teaching in the classroom, I focused a lot on TED Talks and created an awareness with food, and then these students branched out into other topics. Some of them stayed with food, but it was where can we teach and just give this education and knowledge and understanding. And you know, just I'm glad to be here, and thank you for the Friday Zoom.
Yeah, you're so welcome. The invitation is for you each to invite 2 more people to come next week, because my intention is to grow this like far beyond 100 people in this Zoom room who are taking action, who are speaking truth to power, who are opening your mouths. We are the Million Mom movement, you guys. Okay, that's the hashtag. Use it well. We are the Million Mom movement. And in all honesty, our work goes far beyond Purium, all right? We are turning things around in terms of the insane food world that we live in. And we are allowing people to understand that they can't keep farming in a way that is harming the earth, that is harming farm workers, that is harming animals, and that ultimately is harming us. It's harming us. So I tell my team all the time, be the light in the room. Be that person that educates. And I'm going to share the story because the story impacted people last week. So I'm going to share it this week. So it's the day before Christmas, you guys, December 24th. And I'm standing in a Safeway a line about to buy a few items. And this woman is about to buy 2 boxes of Cheerios. You know how they tape them together so you buy a 2-pack? She's about to buy Cheerios. And I'm like, oh, God, am I going to say something? Well, I had a little talk with myself, right? And I was like, well, Stephanie, you're not the person that you think you are if you don't speak up right now. So I opened my mouth and I said, hi, do you know about glyphosate on our food? Because I just saw that you're about to purchase Cheerios there. And I wonder if you knew that Cheerios have the highest parts per billion of glyphosate on them of products tested in 2016. She's like, no, I didn't know that. I was like, well, there's a great report that was done in 2016 by Food Democracy Now! And the Detox Project that outlines all the products, so many products, you guys, Stacy's pita chips, Cheez-Its, Pepperidge Farms, Goldfish. I mean, the list goes on and on. Products that kids eat all the time, right? It's so eye-opening. And I said, you know, just go home and Google glyphosate and cancer when you get home. And so after a couple minutes, she turns around, she looks at me and she goes, I'm not buying them. So, you know, I'm really glad I opened my mouth, and I want to encourage you all to open your mouth, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels, you know, like socially it's not acceptable. Like we, you know, as Amy likes to say, we are the queens and kings of carefrontation, right? We open our mouths and we speak up because we care. Because we care. And we don't just care a little bit, we care a lot, right? We've got big hearts, which is why we've aligned with Purium in the first place. So this is what we're doing here on Fierce Friday. It's 11:30. We only record for 30 minutes. So I'm gonna stop the recording. If you'd like to stay on and we can answer some questions, please do. I'm happy to stay on for a little bit longer. Thank you for being here. Please take action. Please email General Mills. Please hit up their Instagram accounts. I know we all have a lot of time on our hands right now. Adopt this movement, lead with this movement, lead with the business. We need more women coming into the Million Mom Movement as brand partners. Please go to millionmommovement.info for more information, learn about our scholarships for families in need, and get involved. Thank you. Many blessings to you all.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.